Firstly, thanks for clicking on this video, Bears fans or possibly Braxton Jones family members. Whether you're a subscriber of mine or not, you're welcome. This is Braxton Jones, I'm Athleticism, and what we're going to do is look at about a dozen plays worth of his play from last year, both in pass and run play. And we're going to look at what he did well, what he needs to work on possibly, and some of the reasons for hope in the future. I think one of the ones we have to start with is that he started all 17 games as a rookie. That's pretty good. It was the reason why Sam Mustafa seemed to hang along as long as he did. We won't speak ill of players that have gone elsewhere. We're just glad that maybe they have. So we're going to roll into this play, and what I'm going to do is let it roll through once so you can actually have a look, see what he's doing. You see the motion there, sort of trying to declare the front. You see shift, so you know it's sort of a half field. And you can see it's going to be a wide zone. So the whole premise of wide zone on this, Byron Pringle actually sort of maybe staying a little bit too long on the defensive end there, that Braxton takes over. But you want to work yourself around, so just to highlight in like this. Whoops, a bit too far. That looks a lot better. Just to highlight in on this, the whole point of this is you want to kind of work round to play side to be able to block and seal him off. Obviously we need Cody Whitehair to seal off there. This is why I'm saying this was staying on too long really. These are two you've got to take care of. Or, as it looks like Equanimous is trying to get there, maybe Cole's supposed to get there, maybe it's supposed to get there, and we're supposed to cut up inside. That's what it looks like anyway. What we're centred on is Braxton Jones and his work here. And as you can see as we roll through, he's got to try and keep his head this side of the player, to stay play side, so that David Montgomery's got something to cut back, and he's doing a pretty good job there. As you see, he's actually driving him downfield, so he's like 3-4 yards, 5 yards, ends up finishing him on the ground. As he goes to sort of try and make a tackle on David, Braxton puts the weight on and gives him a bit of a shove. So it's not a bad start in his first game as a rookie, so that's the context. So we're still in the first game of the season. As you can see, we're still in the first quarter. This time he's got a Bosa to worry about, as you can see out here, this dude. So let's see how he's going to do in this. We'll roll it through and then we'll sort of come back and take a look. So obviously they're showing bluffing double A or showing double A gap pressure, so the A gap obviously is either side of the centre, showing both linebackers. Presumably one of these three or possibly two will bail, and what they'll try and do is create an overload either side of the centre for the type of guys that are there. That's the whole premise. So let's see what happens with this pass protection. That's pretty good. So what do I like about this first of all? So it's a wide set, so it's a 45-degree set, as you can see, it's not straight back. So it's a wide set because it's a wide 9 coming at him. So what I like is he stays out in front and he's mirroring quite well. See how he's keeping his hips and his shoulders parallel to the player that's coming into him. What I don't like is a little bit too vertical in the body here, and his weight, as you can probably see here, is a little bit back from where his centre of balance is. Just want to see his ass a bit lower and his shoulders a bit further forward, so he's more sort of hunkered down and centralised over his body. That's the only really sort of what I like again here is the patience. He's got really long arms. I'm not flashing them too early, but you see that hard step, that sort of it's like a hezzy. So jab to the outside, jab to the inside. He's trying to unsettle his feet, push to the outside, and then plant and go to the inside. That's what Bosa's trying to do. Working to the inside. And you can see it's a bit of a catch there, but what I do like here is you see this pivot off this foot, and he pivots with the player to sort of seal him in towards what he knows is the help, which is the guard. And then as he sort of plants, you see him set his feet here. See him set his feet, so he's now anchored, stops him dead, and that's on a Bosa. That's a pretty good job as a rookie. It doesn't get much more tougher than that. I know, it's the Green Bay Packers, no one likes to relive this game, but they do have a pretty good defensive line this time. Obviously it's a 3-man front rather than a 4-man front, which we saw from the 49ers, so something different to think about. Rashawn Gary and Preston Smith here on the outside, so again it's just a whole different kind of thing for him to worry about in his second game in the NFL. So let's see how he does here at left tackle. And we go into the play, there goes the jet motion. Not a great start really, because unfortunately Sam leaves without getting the ball into the QB's hands, but at the end of the day what we want to try and do is, again, it's a wide zone but with that backside trap. You see Kari Blasingame coming on his backside trap, and it looks like we've got Komet out on the route, so it could even be play action if this all went to plan. Obviously it didn't go to plan, but at the end of the day what we want to see here is if we are just pass proing, which it looks like because all of the motion here is very lateral to the line of scrimmage. If it was a run, it would be more sort of coming this way. rather than everyone going lateral. So pass pro, what we want to see is get your head again to the play side, because you want to make him think that it's run, but you want to keep again your ass down and your shoulders up and your head up. Problem is here, and I don't know if you can see this very well, but we'll try and zoom in a little bit without going too crazy like we did the first time, is we'll try and zoom in if it'll let me zoom in. That's about as good as we're going to get. So we're going to zoom in, and then what you see is he just dips his head into contact. So obviously he's a lower guy, he's a stout defensive lineman, not as tall as Braxton. Braxton dips his head into contact. That's not what you want to do, because at the end of the day, whilst I know the temptation's there to crack heads, you want to keep your eyes on what you're actually trying to hit, and that's an important part of this. And you can see he's actually feeling this really, really well. Stops, plants his feet, and the problem is when you get a little bit too high, first of all, so he goes straight up, not good. Secondly, dips the head, not good. Thirdly, because he's got high, he's got narrow, and you see him crossing his feet, running his feet over, crossing his feet there. You see that, you know, left foot, his left foot is here, his right foot is here. That's never a good place to be, because all it takes is one shove now and you're on the deck, which he plants, he's able to shed, and then there's Justin, and that's the problem. So there is some stuff to work on. Don't dip your head into contact. Again, staying low is a thing that we're probably going to see a little bit more in this video. And we're into the 5th game of the season now. You can see Cody Whitehair's actually talking to Braxton here, so clearly he's trying to tell him something, maybe a scouted look, something like that. Obviously there's an overload, as you can see here, to this side of the line. We see far more players. We've got Cole Kmet over here, potentially to block, potentially to run. As you can see though, his eyes are on sort of Hendricks here. So let's see what we get from Braxton. Obviously there's communication there from Cody Whitehair. You see Tevin also giving a bit of a signal, sort of loosey. Daniel Hunter, you see him sliding in from being over Cole Kmet, sliding in. What I like here is Braxton keeps his eyes on the defensive end first, and then again you're seeing that sort of initial inside move, and then it's like a jump hezzy, and it's speed to power. So you see him drop his ass. He's in a better body position this time. That's a better body position, but again, a little bit narrow with the feet, and it absorbs the contact pretty well. Just want to see him actually sort of half man him almost, and sort of fire those hands out. A little bit catchy for me, and you need to now extend and press. Once you keep your hips back, which he does see him work his hips back there, works his hips back, gets into a decent position. Now he's got that nice sort of, this sort of arch shape that you want to see when you're sort of trying to stalemate somebody. He's neutralised that speed to power now, which is a pretty good job against a very good pass rusher. So 1, 2, 3 steps, he's neutralised it. 4 plants, enough time for Justin to get the throw off. You'll settle for that, but it could have been better. But equally, there were some things to like in that. A little bit flat-footed, as you can see there, heel toe, flat-footed. So there are some things to work on, but that's a pretty good job against a very good defensive end. So this one, as you can see, just to add a bit of context, you've got a very similar look as far as Braxton's concerned, because in terms of eyes, he's got Daniel Hunter. This time he's got DJ Wanham, another defensive end, so it's like their NASCAR package, which kind of tells you with nickel that they're in sort of 3rd and long type situation, empty backfield. So if they want to bring pressure, it is going to be a problem potentially, especially with the speedy guys. You see no help at all from Cole Kmet. He's just straight out on the rush. Lucas Patrick getting beaten really badly there, and no help from the left hand side at all, despite the fact that's where all the speed's coming from. But again, with Braxton, wide set because it's a wide 9. Again, you see, if you notice where his centre of balance is, he's kind of behind his feet again. That's not an ideal position. You want your shoulders sort of a little bit sort of, knees there, that's shoulders, hands out. That's kind of the position you want to be in, but you can see he's kind of, a little bit laid back on his heels. That's why he's sort of kind of, again, a little bit flat-footed. Again, he's having to dip his head. He's waiting for the hands. So you see speed to power again. This is the thing he told people he struggled with all last year. And again, you see him having to cross his feet up, because now Hunter works back to the inside. But luckily, the ball's already out. It's a nice quick 3-step, just get it out there and see what Pettis can do. Oh, drop the ball, that's what we can do. Never mind. So some of the real positives with Braxton Jones is his athleticism, which we're going to see on this play. Going to roll it forward. So there you see Darnell Mooney on that sort of jet motion. That backside crack again. So again, looking at what we're doing, Braxton kind of working two there. That's a really good job. So he has to get to the end, which he does, helps Patrick get across, sees the linebacker looping round, gets onto him, gets good contact. You see him then get, David Montgomery's doing a great job here because he sees him get his head to the left side of the player, so he says, okay, I'm going to bounce it outside. Braxton keeping him Jones. It's a good job by Daniel Hunter at the end of the day. But, you know, not bad. Again, look at it from this direction. Again, you're asking him to sort of, it kind of works for him because at the end of the day Hunter kind of comes in a little bit, but you want him to get to the outside seal. Hopefully he takes over and goes to the second level, and that's the way it's drawn up on the chalkboard. That's kind of the way you want to see it do. But what I like here is you see him keep his head up and he's on to Kendricks, which is his second responsibility. Patrick takes over, locates his man, gets good contact on him, keeps his feet running, so pretty good. That's what he does well. More in the run blocking. Better, I mean, he's leaning forward a little bit, so again you'd be able to sort of like pivot, go to half man and maybe shed him a little bit, but he's pretty good in the run blocking, which I think you'd agree with that play. So now we're into the very next game, kind of where the offense started to wake up really for the Bears last year against the Commanders, although not in points in that particular game. The performance was much better on offense, generally moving the ball. So let's see what some of that reason is. Equanimous St. Brown goes in motion, tight end, double tight end to the left hand side, kind of showing pass, almost like pass pro initially because everyone's going laterally again, but it's actually a wide zone toss. You see that sort of toss? So it's almost like a pin and pull, what you call a pin and pull. So pin and then pull around the outside. It's kind of what you get. So watch Braxton, which, you know, just to highlight him, there he is. So we're watching Braxton again. Cole Kmet goes to linebacker. You see him change his target. So he was initially looking at this guy, sees this guy getting past he who will not be named, comes back, gets that shoulder on, stops him dead with one shoulder. Okay, yeah, cool, we've got him. Keep working him. Okay, now Khalil Herbert's cut back. And again, just keep your eyes on Braxton here. That's what we want to do. So, breaks another tackle. Okay, alright. This, by the way, is just, it's not really what I want you to watch, but also just keep your eyes on Justin Fields here because this is just ridiculous. There's Braxton Jones. So Braxton Jones, Justin Fields, keep your eye on these two people if you can. Obviously, I don't want you to cross your eyes or anything like that, but keep your eye on those two guys. Look at the speed. Justin just catches up and actually tries to get a block on somebody. You know, pretty good effort. But again, what is also a pretty good effort is this dude right here. Keep watching. You talk about hustle. Right there, right at the end, all the way downfield. So if he cuts back, there's a chance that Braxton can get a block on. That's really good effort. Again, just to sort of highlight where he is. Here he is. We're going to see the pin and pull. Okay, so it's the outside guy on the pin, and then here goes the pull around the back. As he comes round, normally it's his first defender you locate, but he sees that, he sees Cole Kmet's got that, so he says, okay, I'm going to come back here. Stops his feet enough to stop him dead. That provides that cutback lane here, which he does. Pushes inside, pushes outside because we've lost position here. Goes back outside. Again, Braxton now blocking two men. And then he notices Khalil Herbert. Look, see he's got his eyes on him. Oh my god, we're still going downfield. And then watch the hustle. We're going to see a missile come from this side of the field, which is Justin Field. Look at the hustle by Braxton here. That's a big man running his ass downfield. Love it. So we're into the very next play after that run by Khalil Herbert, and now we're obviously in goal line situation, so we want to see people, bodies start to move and things like that. It's pass pro, which is obvious for the Bears really. again, a very good defensive end here. Sweat, Montez Sweat. Again, look at him, he's trying to work sort of long arm, speed to power. Gets the long arm in, Braxton just washes him around the back. So, you know, whilst we can still remain critical because his ass is way too high. I mean, this leg position here, that's not great. So you got, you know, that there, that's not great. You want to see him with his ass a little bit lower down, keeping his pads a bit lower. But that is a pretty good way to neutralise. And then stop, pivot, so hard plant. You see him hard plant on this leg, and then get into drive, send him this way. Gives Justin a cutback. Justin doing Justin things. There you go. Still in the Commanders game, as I said, it was like one of the games where we actually started to take off on offense. Again, we've got motion, kind of see this. Don't know if you saw him here, but this DB starts to go wide with that. That sort of shows either match, what you call match, which means it's turning to man. So Lucas Patrick, obviously, that to me where they're both working to the outside. And again, just getting into, because Braxton is too high, just able to get into his pads and get under him, and that's why he struggled with the ball rush. I mean, look at that long arm, but again, just getting pushed back into the QB, and this is what we don't want to see really. We start off in a decent position. This is kind of the position I'm talking about. You see where he's that leg's almost slightly forward, this one's slightly back, ass is nice and low, shoulders are sort of over the knees, over the toes. That's a good position, but then as we start to go wide, you see him just lifting his shoulders up. Okay, lifting his shoulders up even more. Every step he goes, going higher and higher and higher. And that means that's what happens when someone turns it to a bull rush. Not great, Bob. Just 2 more plays to go, and we're going to show you again Braxton here. It looks like, you know, that the Patriots might well be sending a lot of bodies here. We kind of see a lot of bodies in the box. We have, so half back on the outside, we've got a corner back here, so that kind of shows you the zone over to this side. And then what we get here, I don't know if you remember this play, is again they're sending literally all of these guys, starts to bail. Okay, that makes this block for EQ just a bit more room to get there. So EQ turns and gets there. Braxton just gives it a little bit of a shove there. Justin has to pump fake to get him to jump, which he does. Pump fake, whoop, no, brings the ball back down, which is just, this is an incredible play really, to be honest. And then lowering the shoulder into the back of him, putting the helmet right in the back of his pads. That should have been spearing, to be honest. Both of them making head contact with the base of his spine just below his head and on his head itself, really trying to injure him. Doesn't get called, but Braxton's what we're, you know, ultimately on this particular play interested in. And to be able to get out on a safety like this as a big man and just put a hit on him and send him to the floor like that, you gotta love it. I mean, that's the sort of stuff that O-linemen, you know, live for, and you can see how happy he is here, just galloping into the end zone. Look at him, the big fella, just really loving being able to, you know, smush a smurf on the outside. It's what you love to see. So again here you're going to see this, what I think is quite a dirty hit, to be honest, by Juden and this other dude, I don't know what his name is, but again, sort of looking at this here, I mean, you quite clearly see he's leading with the helmet right into the middle of Justin Fields' back. He's not laying off. And then both of them make head-to-head contact. But Braxton, get out on that smurf. You know, get it, nice hands on him, give him a good shove. Down you go, fella. Touchdown. So the last play I'm going to show you, Micah Parsons is a pretty good pass rusher, I'm led to believe. So let's see what Braxton does here on the goal line. Again, so it's that sort of pin and pull. You see the pin and pull? So this time it's again, we're asking a wide receiver to block an end, and what you want to see is get them Braxton out, leading the way with Cole Kmet. That's kind of what we want to do, get 2 big bodies on 2 smaller bodies. Again, this block here really is one of the key ones, to be honest. And it just, again, Pettit's not really the best blocker. Darnell Mooney's actually a better blocker. If I'd have been designing that, I'd have had Darnell Mooney on that end, because he's just a way better blocker. But look at Braxton there, working past that, straighten up, see him really jetting to outside digs. So he's sort of just chasing him, getting on him, and that gives, because he's sort of trying to force him wide, gives Justin the room to get in, because Justin is just so incredibly quick. So again, kind of see it from here. This is the block really. It doesn't work, but Justin makes it work. There's the pin, EQ, and there's Braxton out leading ahead. You see him keeping his eyes on his target. As he sees him goes wide, just turns, mirrors with his hips, and then he uses those long arms. We kind of want to see that on defensive end when they're rushing you, dude. And that's again a pretty good shot. Send him to the turf. That's where we want to like to end it, and now on a touchdown for Justin Fields. Hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, consider hitting like, comment, tell me what you did like, tell me what you didn't, tell me what you think is going to happen this season with Braxton Jones. Tell all the Bears fans in the comments. But most importantly, if you don't mind, hit subscribe if you haven't already. Put notifications on, because I do like to do live videos, and I'm going to be trying to raise money for community initiative company that's going to be looking after kids with special educational needs and disabilities. I hope you're there to support it. Take care, bear down. Let's hope we have a good season.